Hi everyone. Today we're going to cover how to find the stationary point of a graph. So what is stationary point? Point is basically the turning point. That's where the graph is turning. So this is where if you draw a tangent line, you can see that the tangent line is horizontal. This means it's stationary, it doesn't move. For that reason, the gradient or the derivative will be equal zero at the stationary point. And similar here, you can have a maximum point or you can have a minimum point as one of the type of stationary point. Derivative also equals zero. Or you could have a point of inflection. So you could have a cubic graph, something like that, and then you have a point of inflection here. So at here, the gradients also equals zero as well. So derivative equals zero. Okay, so for that reason, the idea of how to find stationary point of a function is what we do, we're going to derive it, and then we're going to let derivative equal zero. That's pretty much it. And then we can solve for x. All right. And once you solve for x, you can subtract and you can solve for y. And eventually you got the point x and y. Now we're going to go over a few examples here of how to get the stationary point. Here I have, let's do example A. My first step I'm going to do is I'm going to find the derivative and I'm going to let the derivative equal zero after that. So derivative of 9 is zero, derivative of 12x is 12, derivative of 2x squared is 4x. And then I said that at stationary point, derivative equals zero. Okay, so you let 12 minus 4x equals zero, and you're going to get x equals 3. So you know that the point will be 3 comma something. What? So all you do is just substitute x equals 3 back into the original equation. You can solve for y. So you have y equal, if I sub back in here, I have 9 plus 12 times 3 minus 2 times 3 squared. 9 plus 12 times 3, 36. Um, 3 squared is 9. 9 times 2 is 18. 9 plus 36 is 45. 45 minus 18, I will get 27. Right? So therefore, the answer for this question is the stationary point will be 3, comma 27. And it makes sense because you can see that the graph that we are dealing with is a parabola and it's the negative, so it's upside down parabola. And the maximum point here, the stationary point that we have here is 3, comma 27. Okay. Now I want to do more of this example of how you actually solve for the stationary point when you have to deal with circular function like that. So let's do question A. But you know, they all have the same strategy, okay, which is find the derivative and let that equal zero. So I find the derivative of sine 2x. Derivative of sine 2x will be cos of 2x. And I just need to time my derivative of 2x, which is 2. And I'm going to let the derivative equal 0. So at stationary point, derivative equals 0. So I have cos of 2x times 2. Maybe put to the front, let that equal 0. Then to solve for x, I divided by 2 over 0 divided by 2 still give me 0. So I don't need number 2 here. Now cos of 2x equals 0. Basically this go back to solving circular function. If you solve cos of something equals 0, you could have a angle cos is the x-axis. So cos equals 0. So you could have this angle here, which is 90 degree, pound 2, or you could have the other angle here, which is 3 pound 2. Okay. So you have two angles. So what I do is I draw. 2x equal pound 2 or 3 pound 2. Then I can solve for x, so I get x equal pound 4 or 3 pound 4. Now look at my domain. My domain is 0 to 2 pi, right? So I can have more solution if I just add a period to it because they go up to 2 pi. So what I do is I'm going to get a period. A period is 2 pi over n, and n is 2. So 2 pound 2, which is pi. So pound 4, if you plus a period, if you plus pi, you will get 5 pound 4. Okay, which still in the domain, your domain 2 pi. And if you do 3 pound 4 plus pi, you get 7 pound 4. So you would have 4 possible solutions here. And because you have 4 possible solutions, you will end up having 4 stationary points. So you're going to do for each of them to get the y value. Let's start with x equal pound 4. Now, sub back into the original equation, which is y equal this, y equals psi of 2x. And then I substitute pound 4 in, so psi of 2 times pound 4. That gives me psi of pi with 2, and psi of pound 2 equal 1. So my first stationary point is pound 4, comma 1. Okay, I don't know if the maximum or the minimum yet, because what I know is one of the stationary point. I do the same thing for 3 pound 4. So when x equals 3 pound 4, the y will be psi of substitute 3 pound 4 in, so 2 times 3 pound 4, which is 6 pound 4 is 3 pound 2, and psi of 3 pound 2. If you think about the unit circle, 3 pound 2 is here, and psi is a y value, so that's -1. So you have the next stationary point is 3 pound 4, comma, -1, like that. Right, and then doing the same thing for 5 pound 4. So when x equals 5 pound 4, y will be psi of 2 times 5 pound 4 is 5 pi on 2, and psi of 5 pound 2. So 5 pound 2 is 2.5. So you go 2 pi and then 1/2. So let's go back here. So that will be 1. There you go. You get the next turning point is 5 pound 4, comma 1. And then finally, you have 7 pound 4. So when x equals 7 pound 4, y equals psi of 2 times 7 pound 4, which is 7 pound 2, and psi of 7 pound 2, 3.5 pi. That will get you back at -1. So you will have 7 pound 4 and -1. There you go. So you would have 4 stationary point. Okay. Now, how do we apply these concepts to find the unknown? So this question here, they give you a curve, and they say passage point 0 and 5, except the stationary point 2 and 7, finding A, B, C. So if they give you a point, what you can do with that point, you can substitute in. You have 0 and 5, substitute into the original. 5 is a y and 0 is the x. So we have 5 equal 0 cubed plus a times 0 squared plus b times 0 plus c. So you would have 5 equals c. That's one answer so far. Now, doing the same thing for 2 and 7. If you have 7 equal 2 cubed plus a times 2 squared plus b times 2 plus c, and I know c equal 5, so I just replace the c value as 5. Okay, so 2 cubed is 8, 2 squared is 4, 4a plus 2b plus 5. Now 7 minus 8, sorry, is -1. -1 minus 5 is -6. So I have -6 equal 4a plus 2b. Or you can write -3 equal 2a plus b if you divide everything by 2. So you have that. Now, what is another keyword that I have to look for here? They tell me that that's the stationary point at 2 and 7. So if it's stationary, we talk about a stationary rate, the derivative equals 0. So stationary means that at x equal 2, because it have to be at 2 either x corners at the stationary. At x equal 2, derivative equals 0. So this is how we get the next equation. So we're going to derive this. Derivative of x cubed is 3x squared. Derivative of ax squared is 2ax plus b, right? That is the derivative. Now you're going to substitute x equal 2 and derivative equals 0 in. So you have 3 times 2 squared plus 2a times 2 plus b equals 0. Okay, derivative equals 0. So 4 times 3 is 12, 12 plus 4a, sorry, 4a plus b equals 0. So this is your another equation. Then what you do is basically you're just solving simultaneously to get a and b, and you already know c. So maybe I just put the 12 to this side. It look easier because I have in here I put the -3. So I'm going to put the 12 to the other side. This become -12 equal 4a plus b. Okay, so to get b, to cancel the b, you can just minus them. If I just write this equation here, I have -3 equal to a plus b. Now I'm going to put the minus in between them to cancel the b's out. B and B cancel out. -12 minus -3 is -9 equal 4a minus 2a is 2a. So you would have a equal -9/2. And when I equal -9/2, you can sub it back into either of these equations. You can solve b. So if I do -3 equal 2 times -9/2 plus b, you can do cancel out -3 equal -9 plus b. You get b equal 6. There you go.